Hey everyone, Chris Murphy here. I've not done a video in quite a while and not really told too many people that I've gone on a break for a bit. I'm currently in Nepal and the plan's to stay here for 3 months. Currently in Pokhara, lovely view of the lake behind me, and the idea was to go away for a bit and yeah, maybe not so much reflect, is just I sort of left things behind in London for now, in terms of a lot of the work I've been doing this year, and it just felt right to go away. So I've been here just for over a week, and I went to Kathmandu, the capital, for 5 days. It was a massive culture shock for me. I've never been to Asia before. It was just a great insight seeing how people live, and it's different over here. Obviously aware of a few things perhaps take for granted back in the UK. Obviously the living conditions here aren't, definitely a massive step down, as you'll notice if you ever come here. And I think it's just seeing it for real. When you actually get here, you're like, this is crazy, this is unbelievable. And yeah, now in Pokhara, I'm caught up with a few people who are a few contacts through a couple of people I've worked with this year who recommended I catch up with them, teaching meditation, yoga. So it's very much a community feel. I feel at home with those, and I've stayed in a couple of hostels so far, met some cool people, been out, had some drinks, gone for meals, done all of that, and slowly starting to meet some people who are on a similar journey to me as well, which is very interesting. And so yeah, it got to that point for me where I just felt that I just feel like I want to let go of a lot of things, and over the last year definitely I've understood massively now how the whole, happiness, confidence, fulfillment, whatever it is, it's all internal. There's anything more I can chase externally, which is, and for me it's the meditation and things. It's just helped because perhaps I feel a lot more free, don't have as many negative thoughts as I used to, and anxiety and all this sort of thing, the fears. It's all slowly disappearing, and I feel like where I'm going at the moment is it's just a way to reach that freedom. And then sometimes you just realize that perhaps what you always thought you wanted, you don't actually want, and you're happy just doing what you want. For me, I'm out here, it's quite cool because it's quite cheap as well. I'm staying at a guest house, which is it's a really nice room, and that's about £6 a night. Of course you could stay somewhere about £2 a night, but the conditions aren't as great, the rooms aren't as great, and yeah, you can get food even cheaper. But then, so at the moment I'm looking spending like £20 a day, maybe less than that, about £15 a day, so it's cheap. Some meals like £2, and it's great. And then on top of that, there's a lot of things to do: yoga, trekking, which I'm looking to do. So a few things on the list. I want to do the Annapurna trekking circuit, which is up there with Everest base camp as well. Some even regarded by a few people as even better views, which is here in Pokhara. It's monsoon season, so once the clouds go down, we'll see some amazing views. October time, generally September. And I want to do Everest base camp as well, which I'll probably do in October. And yeah, I think those are a couple of main things. I want to do a Vipassana as well, which is 10-day silent meditation retreat, which is looking like I'll be doing the 1st of September one. And so those are things that I've sandwiched around. I want to stay in Pokhara for another month, because yeah, it feels really good here. I think Kathmandu was very much a city-like thing. This is very much chilled out, probably something that I was looking for. Just like I found a lot of places I've been over the years that's near a lake or a river, like a lake or the sea is very much more of a chilled out kind of vibe, where the city's just, yeah, it's different. I think similarities to London, and overall here is great because the people are generally friendly, and with not having, it's interesting compared to London how some people just don't have anything and they feel great. And in countries like Bhutan as well, which I've been hearing a lot about, which is the happiest place in the world, they didn't even have TV till 10 years ago. So it's interesting finding out about a lot of this stuff. And it's, for me, a lot more of this stuff I let go, and the better I feel. And I just spend a lot of time just sitting doing nothing, to be honest, and it feels great. And that's, as I want to mention as well, I guess the videos, they could come, I don't know. The plan is to have a break, but obviously I'm open to doing a bit of Skype coaching for people who are interested in the stuff that I'm doing at the moment over Skype, and also the opportunity to do a potential retreat, working with Sam Power, who could potentially come over here in a couple of months, and then we were both thinking of doing a retreat for a few people. If you perhaps want to see a bit of Nepal, be open to the idea of doing meditation, yoga, potentially do some trekking as well, and just some other cool stuff you can do here is be awesome. So if you are interested, do drop me a line. And overall, I think the contact, maybe for me is working, 1 day a week for a few hours, literally doing the 4-hour work week. And obviously I'm just at that point now where I think internally it will eventually get to the point where I'm like, right, this is 100% what I'm doing. A book I was reading recently is talking about how you've got to have a lot of joy in doing what you're doing. For me, there was joy in doing what I was doing, and that just slowly started to disappear. But now it's becoming a lot more, because it keeps changing. You can't, for me, it's just been difficult to understand how it's like put something in. I feel like I'm still on that journey, which essentially for me in the beginning is becoming that more free, authentic version of yourself. And throughout the years, maybe a couple of years in, it's like, yeah, I'm this now, I'm that confident, I can show people how to do it. For me, it was always evolving, and I feel like I'm a lot closer now. So I would much rather get to where I want to get to and help people along the way, and then when it finally makes sense to do that. And that's kind of where I'm going. And yeah, so 3 things I wanted to mention as well, just as a couple of quick pointers, is just the first one is being aware of the ego that you have, and understanding that your ego is not always wanting something more in your life. And the idea of being more abundant, you already have all this stuff internally. It's already within you. It's just you're not looking. You're just constantly chasing more things, something you feel like you lack. So it's breaking the ego down, essentially, is what's going to allow you to have more happiness, more freedom, more just being happy in more moments. Because as long as the ego is there, you're just, every time, like for me, if I was here now, I'd be like, I'd want something else. And what's different now is it seems to be like, I'm just enjoying this now. If I was back in London, I'd be enjoying it now. Because the present moment is what's most important. So whenever a thought comes up and it's like, it's negative, or you feel like you're judging someone, just be aware of it. And just sort of say, like, bring consciousness that, oh right, this is, because we're on autopilot a lot of the time. It's like, if you're dreaming, you're constantly, you don't know you're dreaming because you're asleep. But a lot of people are walking around with negative thoughts all day. So you just want to be aware. If you judge someone, be like, because every time maybe if you lash out at someone else, or you feel something's lacking, or you judge someone, it's always a reflection back onto you. So the more you can be aware of that, the more it'll break down, and the more it'll stop. And you'll start to reduce the patterns that happen in your life, and stop thinking, why is this always happening to me? And remember, it's just everything that's in your head. It's basically just internally is putting it out there in the real world. And yeah, the second point is emotions and feeling them fully. Understanding as well when you're thinking, what I've learned is, if you're triggered by something just allowed, you start feeling, oh my God, I don't feel great. Maybe it's some real fear or anger. Just be aware that emotion's come up, and feel it fully in the body, and don't keep thinking, because you're only going to keep thinking. If you feel fear, you're just going to keep thinking fearful thoughts. If it's money, it's like, well, what about this? What if I run out of money? What if this? What if that? What if I can't pay the bills? What if I keep spending too much money? Then you just have to forget that and just don't listen. Be like, I can't. It's like there's a demon inside you going, I don't want to listen. And then you feel it fully, and then you, from time to time, as time will go on, you will start to feel things a lot better, and then they'll come and they'll go. Remember, everything in life just happens. It's the connection you have with what's happening to your life. And then the final point I'll give, which is probably one of the best things I had, and I thought it was crazy in the beginning, and a lot of people I speak to still don't understand this, is only because Sam, the guy I work with, he sort of made me do it, and he does it all the time. And I asked him what his secret was, and that's just simply just to get used to just sitting there and doing nothing. And just half an hour every night, if you can, just sit there and don't do anything. And I know that sounds crazy. Overall, if you can be used to sitting there in silence and feeling good, feeling happy, feeling at peace, then that's kind of what we want. You're waiting for the dentist and you're delayed for an hour and you're just sat there and you're just perfectly fine. You're not thinking, oh shit, I should be getting here, I shouldn't be here. Because the mind will start to be aware of what's happening, because you'll be like, oh, I should be out doing this, I should be working, I should be reading, I should be doing that, I should be... But that's essentially is the ego. So I found the more you can do that and sit peacefully, it's going to benefit you so much more long term, because all of this stuff I've just told you about now is going to do wonders in the future. You know, like if you followed me over the years, whether it was chasing women or it's chasing money or it's chasing success or all this other stuff, just similarly, you're just going to keep wanting more and more. Whereas maybe the route I'm going down now and this stuff is, you feel a lot better and you feel more free, and it's what essentially you're seeking. It's because when you were younger, when you were a kid, you had all this inside you, and it's just being aware that that's the case, and not getting somewhere. Okay, so I wanted to give you that video, just some tips to take away. If you are interested in some Skype coaching and learning a lot of what I'm talking about and how I can relate a lot more to you, and how we can improve that with you and can work a bit together, yeah, I can do that over Skype. I might look to introduce that soon, but if you want to let me know, email me below. And also, if you're open to the idea of coming to retreat, like I said, it's the cost of living's not too much over here. The flights are like, you could probably get for like 600 quid maybe, there and back. Potentially you could do Everest Base Camp as well, which is about $1,000. So and that's 2 weeks, and that'll include accommodation and everything. So yeah, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I think a week might be too less. So if you can get 2 weeks away, and you want to hang out with me and Sam, potentially could come down as well. That should be cool. So do let me know. I'm not sure when the next video comes. I feel like I do want to share a lot more, and I just want to take a break for a bit and see how things turn out. Okay, right, I'll love you and leave you. Peace out, and see you guys very soon.